Come hell or high water, I'm going to build a massive new dock for the Clarks that will give them 4 times as much space for entertaining and extend far enough so that they can get all-day sun and a sunset in the evening. And to make sure they can stay here all night too, I'm going to put a fire pit on this dock so the kids can roast marshmallows right out on the lake. We've got a $28,000 budget and 2 weeks to build this. It's time to get started. Today's the first day of work at Chris and Melissa's boathouse. We're rolling in here. We have all our steel on the barge. We're gonna pull up in front and start laying out the location of all the piles and start building this dock. It's looking good, Dan. What they want to do is keep this faded color this color and then start the new one in a straight line. So instead of, stitching it in,
Yep.
we're just gonna basically build straight off this thing. So we're gonna need a nailer along the edge of some sort here.
Yep.
For you to connect the next piece of decking to. More what I'm concerned about now, again, is our dock height, right? So
Yep.
the water level's still really high.
Oh, yeah.
So how much of a weld are we gonna be able to get on our crosser now?
By the time we get our piles in, hopefully the water cooperates, goes down, and we'll get an inch of weld across the top just to hold it.
Right.
And
Then weld it out after as the
weld
water
it
level?
as the water goes down.
Okay.
Hopefully it cooperates and goes down, but that's all we can do for now.
Yeah, well, let's just pray it doesn't rain again,
Oh,
although it's not
man.
looking too good.
No.
And if you can get it tacked on top and we can keep building, then I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But we will have to come back around before we deck it and get the rest of that weld in.
Sounds good.
We're creating a solid steel frame for this dock by pounding steel piles down into the lake bed, through 30 feet of water and mud until they hit the bedrock. Once we weld the cross beams between them, they'll be rock solid. But with the water level this high, the weld points are underwater. All we can do is cross our fingers and hope the water level drops so we can finish the job. And unless that happens fast, we don't have a hope of completing this construction in 2 weeks. So we're just finishing the first pile. It's taken a long time, a lot of prep work with every single pile. We've got 12 of them to do. We'll get maybe one more in today. So you can see it's gonna take days to get this done. So once all the piles are driven, we can start welding in the cross braces or the crossers. Now, the problem on this location is that the water level is so high. If the water level doesn't drop, we won't be able to weld the crossers, and this project will not be able to move forward. The Clarks want to make their dock bigger and wider for entertaining their family and friends. I'm building them a huge 750 square foot dock with a stone fire pit. We're driving in the piles that form the base of the steel frame, but it's slow progress. Because the bedrock's uneven, the piles are all different lengths. First, we have to go through 13 feet of water and then drive through another 17 feet of mud to hit bedrock. Our original timeline on this dock was 2 weeks. Now, after we've driven in 12 piles, we've had to stop and wait an entire month for the water levels to drop so we can weld in the cross beams. Finally, they've dropped and we can get moving again. With 12 steel piles, 6 steel cross beams, and 8 steel joists across them, we've got a seriously heavy-duty frame to put our decking on. What I'm doing right now is setting down the wood sleepers so that we can connect our decking to the steel frame. We've also welded in this whole steel plate area, which is going to be our fire pit. Now, we had to do that area in steel so it didn't catch on fire when we lit a fire. After this, the guys will pour concrete on here, and we'll be able to set some stone in place. But right now, we have to install all these wood sleepers. So we have to pre-drill every single piece of wood, every single piece of steel, and then install these non-corrosive fasteners in to secure the wood frame to the dock. This helps a lot if water levels go high and the water's pushing up on the deck boards. These will hold it in place so it doesn't get lifted off. So what I'm trying to do here is lay out to install some of these wood nailers. Now these allow us to put wood on the side of the dock. We need to put wood on the side of the dock to not only make it look nice, it's called the dock fascia. When you bring your boat in, you don't hit the rough steel. But also, we need a piece of wood to come up a little higher than this metal plate so we can pour the concrete in the base here to support the stone. So we're using this wood frame as the forming for the concrete pad.
Pouring concrete is a tricky job, and doing it on open water means that the whole thing is a crazy balancing act. My guys have to work hard and fast to get it done. We're using a straight edge 2x10 to level the concrete, and then we need to let it cure. And keep our fingers crossed that a rogue wave or a rainstorm doesn't wash away all this hard work before the concrete sets. Now that the concrete foundation is cured, it's time to lay in the flagstones. This is an insanely elaborate structure for a dock, but we're playing with fire here.
This is a steel base with 2 inches of concrete built on top, another ½ inch of flagstone. There's no way the fire is going to get to the wood dock. I'm mixing fire, water, wood, and the Clark family. I can't be too careful.
We've lost a whole month waiting for the water levels to lower, so it's time to put all hands on deck. While the flagstones are going down, I've got my guys laying the cedar decking boards on the rest of the dock, and I'm heading out to pick up something special for this project.
So I'm trying to get something that is fun, it's adrenalizing, I've got some good ideas.
A rainy summer delayed our schedule for a whole month, and this project was only supposed to take 2 weeks. Time is money, so we're going full out to catch up and stay on budget.
I really want to come up with something special for Chris and Melissa and their family. So I know they're going to love the fire pit. That's fantastic. The kids will get a kick out of it, but you know, daytime fun, kids want excitement. They want something a little more adrenalizing. And I think their kids are a lot like mine. They really like to get out there. So I'm trying to get something that is fun, it's adrenalizing, but still safe. And something that really lets, you know, Chris and Melissa sit on the dock and relax while the kids have fun. I've got some good ideas. This really caught my eye.
Shopping for toys?
Always more toys, but this is for a family. They've got some really high energy little kids, and this just may be the ticket. So it's basically a catapult, is it?
Absolutely.
And adults can use it too,
Adults
everybody?
can use it. This thing is awesome. You can launch your kids like 10 feet in the air. You can launch your wife into the water.
Oh,
no one
fantastic.
stays dry on it. You're definitely gonna want this to add to the trampoline.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Something high energy and real adrenaline filling, but still safe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you should probably get on it because this is our last one.
Let's take it.
Done,
Great.
done.
Okay. Hey guys, how's it going?
Great.
Looking great.
Thank you.
Fantastic. It's drying pretty quick though in the sun, isn't it?
The sun's helping.
Fantastic. Excellent. So we're just setting in the final stones here. There was a lot of steps to get Chris and Melissa their fire pit here. They wanted this idea. They weren't sure how we could do it. We figured out a great way to do it, but we had to lay steel down. We had to do a concrete pad. Now we're doing a mortar bed and finally setting the stones. After this, we're gonna grout it all in. It's gonna look perfect. This has to be done, otherwise we're gonna light the dock on fire. So none of that heat transfer, none of those sparks can get on the wood. So this area, 10 by 10 feet, gives us enough room to put a nice fire pit in the middle and have no risk of a fire.
Getting the surfaces right on a dock project is key. The Clarks will never see the steel structure underneath their dock, but they have to live with the decking boards and flagstones day in and day out. Every board and every stone has to be perfect if I'm gonna put my name on this job. So my guys have to be meticulous and fast because we are still struggling to make up the time we lost at the start of construction.
Since Chris and Melissa's boathouse was first built, the water levels have been rising over the years. I thought we were gonna have to build this dock about 6 inches higher just to get our weld lines above the water level. But luckily they dropped just in time for us to weld out the frame. So now I've been able to avoid having a step here. That would have been a real hazard. You would have walked out of the doors, looked out at the lake, boom, tripped right there. So luckily it all worked out great, and we've got a nice level transition onto the new dock.
While my guys finish up a few more boards, I'm heading back to my lumberyard to work on a final project.
I love to surprise my clients with handmade finishing touches. Melissa said she wants a nice spot for morning coffee. I've crafted this massive 500-pound log bench. It's a permanent fixture on the dock. It can withstand all weather. Great place to sit.